We would ask that you please rise and then remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Dear wise and loving Heavenly Father, let me first thank you in advance for the thoughts, comments, and concerns from those who are with us here in person tonight, as well as those who are watching this meeting at home. Also, thank you for all the outstanding leaders in our schools, our community groups, and every other leader in our churches and other community organizations who are working hard raising up the next generation of leaders within our city and our schools. Loving Heavenly Father, I come to you this hour asking for your blessings and help as we are gathered together here tonight. I pray that you guide our counsel in the matters at hand, and I ask that you would clearly show us how to conduct our work with a spirit of joy and enthusiasm. Help us to work together and to encourage each other to excellence as we focus on making this community even more prosperous with each passing day. I ask this in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First item is the approval of the agenda. Are there any additions or deletions? Okay, let's go to item A then.
Your Honor, we do have one presentation.
Oh, we do have a presentation, yeah. Lanphier High School student donation to Madison Heights Animal Shelter.
I think Mr. Russ McKenzie is here from Lanphier with some other distinguished guests tonight.
Yes.
And our animal control officer, Suzette Geisel, is here as well.
Yes.
Good evening. I am Russ McKenzie. I'm the athletic director and activities coordinator at Lanphier High School. This year, during Spirit Week, we did some fundraising that we've done the last 4 years. About 4 years ago, Major Events decided to put charity more into our Spirit Week events. Throughout the time, we have raised money for many great causes. Most of them were like breast cancer. It was outside of our community. This year, by guise of our Remy Monahan here, who's our president of Major Events, and when they put it together this year, they wanted to try to keep it more local, and they were looking for something in the community that we could do this for. I'm going to turn it over to Remy now to kind of explain how that took place.
Good evening.
Good evening. Like Mr. McKenzie said, my name is Remy Monahan, and I'm the Major Events President at Lanphier High School. In years past, like Mr. McKenzie said, we've always chosen more nationally known organizations like breast cancer. We've done, what did we do? Wounded Warrior. I was going to say Fallen Angels, Wounded Warrior. And this year we wanted to stay more local and contribute to the community. We create friendly competition between all 4 classes to support a charity of our choice that we choose for for major events. In years past, we made larger donations, but after much deliberation this year, we decided to support the Animal Society of Madison Heights. Throughout the week, students brought in generous amounts of money, ranging from leftover lunch money to much as $40 per person at a time, in hopes of raising the most money for their class every year. This year, between all 4 grades, we raised $434.69 that will all be donated to the animals and the people who take care of them. And we hope that this donation will be put to good use and every penny will be used to its full advantage.
Good, thank you. Yes.
Wow,
Yeah.
I'm really surprised. I did not know this and that you guys had chose us, and I'm just overwhelmed and just pretty much speechless, which is unusual for me.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for remembering us.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
helping us, and we will put it to good use and help a lot of animals with that. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for making the presentation. Okay. Would you like to shake council's hand? Sure.
I thought I was just here for National Animal Control Appreciation Week. I didn't even know this was here for this.
Is that right? Yeah.
So,
Thank you, presentation. Appreciate
Thank
that.
you
so
very much.
actually, animal control is very appreciated.
Thank you, sir.
It really shows a lot of appreciation.
Yeah.
Hi, Russ.
1 to 6. Yeah, 1 to 6. Funny. Yeah.
Please share my thank you with all your students and what a wonderful job that they did. And I'm going to give you our invitation to our open house. I hope your students will come by and see our open house and our newly renovated shelter. And this will help go towards some of those projects we still have left to do and help with some of our animals who are in medical need. So I'm going to leave one for all the council members here also.
Okay. Would you like me to hold the check for you?
Ah,
Oh,
good move.
okay.
This is our invitation to our open house is scheduled for June 13th.
Good.
We hope to see you all.
I think we have that on the web too.
I do too, yeah. Suzette, I'm afraid to go there because I'm going to see a dog want or something. I'm serious.
We'll keep you under control.
Okay, very good.
This is just, we're going to have hot dogs. Those are kind of hot dogs we can have.
Okay, good. Yeah, very nice.
I got mine already, Suzette. Because I was going to announce it tonight.
Nice invitation.
Can't start too early.
Okay, if there's any trouble carrying it, let me know. Okay, moving on, can we have approval of the agenda? Are there any additions or deletions? If not, let's go to business licenses A initial. We have 7 applicants. We're going to treat the first 6 first. We're going to take the 7th by itself, and then we'll go to the, just a second, let I flip over, business licenses, temporary and seasonal. So under business licenses initial, we have 6 applicants. The Survivor Nails LLC, it's a nail salon at 27703 John R. Road. Number 2 is JC Jewelry, a retail jewelry shop at 32341 John R. Number 3, Ebony Beauty Supply, a retail beauty supply shop at 30120 John R. Road. Number 4, Amy's Silver Thimble, a clothing alteration shop at 1458 East 12 Mile. Number 5, Levi Nail and Spa, a nail salon at 32321 John R. And number 6 is Plan B Tax Accounting and Tax Preparation Shop at 31321 DeQuinder. All applicants have met the requirements of the city, so could we have a motion on this, please?
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Clark?
I'd make a motion to approve initial business license number 1, Survivor Nails LLC, which is a new business. Number 2, JC Jewelry, that is a new business. Number 3, Ebony Beauty Supply, that's a new business. Number 4, Amy's Silver Thimble, that's a change of ownership. Number 5, Levi Nail and Spa, that is a new change of ownership. Number 6 is Plan B Tax and Accounting. That is a new ownership and a new location.
Thank you, sir. A second?
Your Honor.
Mr. Corbett?
Support, Your Honor.
Discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next item, business licenses initial, it's number 7. And this is recommend approval of the business license application number 7, subject to the conditions set forth by the Administrative Hearing Office.
Your Honor, if you
Yes,
don't
sir.
mind, if
Please.
council would mind, I would read those into the record.
Please.
First, that the applicant is to amend the business license application and list all convictions, and that has been completed. Number 2, that the applicant will appoint a resident agent attorney and file the appropriate paperwork with the state of Michigan no later than 30 days after the issuance of the business license. Number 3, that any arrests of the applicant up to the annual business renewal date next year for any crimes could be reason to revoke the license. And 4th, that the applicant must cooperate with and promptly follow up with any city department requests from this point forward.
Okay. What's the wish of council on this, please?
Your Honor.
Mr. Mayor?
Mr. Corbett?
Sir, I would move, and I would specifically by reference incorporate the remarks of the city manager into the approval for Laser Warp, a laser tag business at 31401 John R.
Thank you, sir. Second?
Mr. Mayor,
Mrs. Scott?
second.
Discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Business licenses, temporary and seasonal. We have 3 applicants. Harbor Freight Tool, 32706 John R. It's an outdoor sales. Number 2, Hollywood Markets, 29200 North Campbell Outdoor Sales. And number 3 is Value Center Marketplace, 1485 West 14 Mile. Again, outside sales, and they've all met the requirements of the city. So can I have a motion on these, please?
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Clark.
I'd make a motion to approve business license, temporary and seasonal, for the 3 businesses mentioned.
Thank you. Second?
Mr. Mayor,
Mrs. Scott.
second.
Discussion?
Your Honor,
Yes, sir.
I noticed that the city of Royal Oak is going through a ordinance review process right now, and one of those ordinances that they think are outdated and useless is maybe an ordinance similar to this. You know how we bring up temporary licenses for a Christmas tree lot, for example? Well, the city of Royal Oak has realized that's just an outdated requirement. Why does the city commission or council need to review Christmas tree lot licenses? So I guess I would like some sort of report from our city whether it's really council's business to regularly go into these temporary licenses. Maybe it's just, maybe they should just be granted them from the clerk's office or a matter of fact. I don't know, maybe council thinks differently. Maybe there's policy reasons why we want our fingers on the street sale. But I don't know. It might just be one of those things. I think Royal Oak found out it was from like the 1950s and there was a proliferation of illegal Christmas tree lot. I don't know, but maybe it's just outdated for city council to spend so much time on temporary licenses.
Mr. Myers?
Your Honor, Mayor Pro Tem, we'd be happy to research that issue. I know that the CDD is also involved in temporary seasonal business licenses from the standpoint of lot coverage, parking spaces, that sort of thing, but we'll be happy to report back on that.
And I know, Mr. Mayor, one final point. A lot of these temporary businesses, their profit margins are so small. I mean, they're selling, clearance items on a sidewalk. So, any way to shave some costs on the business, as long as there's the appropriate reviews. I mean, it can't just be free will, sell wherever you want. I mean, maybe the clerk does it. But I don't know. Maybe there's just some compromise that it doesn't require a vote of the elected city council. That's my only point.
Thank you, sir. Any other comments? Okay, we have a motion for approval of the temporary seasonal licenses by Councilman Clark, a second by Councilwoman Scott. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, business licenses, non-commercial. We have nothing scheduled. Likewise, public hearings, nothing is scheduled. Is there anything on the agenda anybody in the audience wants brought forward at this time? If not, then let's go to meeting open to the public. Anybody wishing to address council, please feel free to do so. And name and address, if you will.
My name's Gloria Moore. I live at 27368 Dartmouth. I'd like to invite everybody to the Madison Heights Public Library for our meeting of the Friends of the Madison Heights Area Senior Citizens. And that's at on April 21st at 7 p.m. And afterwards we coffee at Leo's.
Good, thank you. Good evening, sir.
Tim Waymaster, 29112 Mark. I just wanted to inform the council that with the road project that's going on Mark, I'm in good view of everything that's going on, and I'm pleased with it, and just want to tell everybody that on the council that with all the stuff that's gone on with consumers and the water mains, no problems, other than, and it's not bad, we had a rainstorm, and I live at the very low end of the street, and my wife is disabled, so am I, and we had called the police department to inform them that the road was backing up. The gentleman that answered the phone when my wife had called told her that she was exaggerating it. After all has gone on last year with a flood, I'm very concerned because I'm at the very end of the street. And I know that they're going to be redoing the storm drains and stuff, but other than that, I'm happy with consumers, and The city workers have been really nice and everything, and they've had a lot of stuff to deal with. So I'm really happy with it, and I just wanted to tell you to commend some of the people from the city.
Yeah.
Okay?
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we appreciate that
Thank
very
you.
much. And so will the workers. We definitely will pass it on.
Got a couple good ones.
Your Honor.
That's all?
That's about, plus I want to come in here because I want to be more involved in my community.
Yeah.
Because I want to see what my tax dollars are going for, so.
You're looking at it, and please feel free
Okay.
come anytime you'd like, any council
thank you.
meeting. Sure.
Your Honor,
Yes.
Council, I'll follow up with CDD on the drainage issue.
Yeah, did you hear that, sir?
We'll follow up with community development and the city engineer in regard to the project and your drainage.
Sure. Anybody else? Let's go to communications. Item C, nothing is scheduled for this evening, so we'll go to item D, reports. And the first one is number 1, city attorney and city clerk, Lamphere Public Schools, Lamphere Athletic Booster Club charitable gaming license resolution.
The Lamphere Public Schools, through the Lamphere Athletic Booster Club, has submitted the requested documents that were outlined in our administrative policy in order to obtain a local governing body resolution from the city as required by the state for the group's charitable gaming license to hold their Texas Hold'em Millionaire fundraising event in Troy on June 21st through the 24th, 2015. Based on the group fulfilling the policy requirements, the city attorney's office, staff, and I recommend the council adopt the resolution recognizing the Lamphere Public School District as a nonprofit organization for the purpose of obtaining a charitable gaming license.
Thank you, sir. Motion on this, please?
Your Honor.
Mr. Corbett.
Sir, I move that the council approve the recommended resolution, which recognizes Lamphere Public Schools as a nonprofit organization for the purposes of obtaining the charitable gaming license.
Thank you, sir. Second?
Your Honor.
Mr. Bliss.
Support.
Okay. Discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Under reports, item number 2. This is the Deputy City Manager, Municipal Employees Retirement System Healthcare Savings Program Participation Agreement Amendments.
Your Honor, staff and I recommend that council approve the 8 amended program participation agreements, and this can be done in one motion, to reflect the changed contribution rules for employees in the city. And these changes specifically are a result of the recently settled labor agreements with department heads, district court, DPS, and municipal employee bargaining units. And also there's an agreement that's needed to amend to address police officer employees that who are retiring under a duty disability.
Thank you, sir. What's the wish of council on this, please?
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Clark.
I'd make a motion to approve the Municipal Employees Retirement System Health Care Savings Program Participation Agreement Amendments.
Thank you, sir. Second?
Mr. Mayor.
Mrs. Scott.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Under reports, item number 3, this is the Director of Public Services Road Commission for Oakland County 215 Summer Maintenance Agreement.
This agreement pertains to summer maintenance from the Road Commission for Oakland County for the city to provide street sweeping, weed and grass mowing, and litter pickup on 14 Mile, 12 Mile, and John R. from 14 Mile to the drain. This year, the Road Commission has increased the summer sweeping rate from $95 to $97 per curb mile, which results in a slight increase of just under 1%, and that's reflective of the current bids that the county has received from its vendors. Staff and I recommend that City Council approve the contract and authorize the mayor and clerk to sign on behalf of the city.
Thank you, sir. What's the wish of council on this, please?
Your Honor.
Mr. Reliff?
I move that we approve the 2015 summer maintenance agreement with the Oakland County Road Commission and authorize the mayor and city clerk to sign on behalf of the city.
Thank you, sir. Second?
Mr. Mayor.
Mrs. Scott.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item E on the agenda, items for future public hearings, and nothing is scheduled for this evening. So let's move to item F, bids awards, bid award purchases, please. And the first is a cable television production equipment upgrades and installation.
As council is aware, our cable television control room and the related peripheral equipment that is used to broadcast meetings from the chambers, give presentations in the chambers, videotape various employee meetings, and disseminate information via the city's government access channel has been in need of upgrades for a number of years. The quality of our broadcast audio and video has consistently been below an acceptable standard, and our current configuration is exclusively analog, which is outdated and in need of conversion to a digital platform to more easily provide video and audio content to current and future media and web outlets. Currently, as an example, our staff have to convert council meeting VHS tapes to a digital file format to be manually uploaded to the internet. So the goals of this multi-year project have been to improve reliability, provide good quality audio and video both in the chambers and to our viewers at home, to reduce our post-meeting staff time by eliminating the manual analog to digital conversion, to provide more professional graphics, titling, and bulletin board capability, and finally to have a solution that will remain current and adequate for a number of years. As part of this project, the equipment rack will be completely rewired. The cameras, the production switcher, video server, playback unit, portable microphones, and projector will all be replaced, and an internet streaming device will be added. Following review with the Information Technology Advisory Committee and with the technical assistance of our consultant Dan York, who's here tonight, the city issued a Mitten Consortium invitation to bid on February 12th for the cable equipment upgrade and installation. 3 vendors, Advanced Lighting and Sound, Great Lakes Multimedia, and Pro Video Systems, submitted bids which were open on March 12th. The 3 submitted bids are all very close in overall price, and all 3 vendors have met the bid requirements and are able to perform the work. Advanced Lighting and Sound is the lowest qualified bidder at $67,911.60, which compares very favorably to our original project estimate of $82,179 that was based on MSRP pricing for the equipment. Staff, the city's cable consultant, and I recommended council approve the contract for the cable television control room equipment upgrades and installation to the lowest responsible bidder, Advanced Lighting and Sound, in the amount of $67,911.60. Funds are budgeted and available for this work, which would be performed this spring. And I would just close my comments on this item by thanking the staff who worked on this project, Mr. York for his expertise and assistance, and also the ITAC that gave us some very helpful advice in the process. Thank you.
Can we have a motion on this, please?
Your Honor,
Mr. Bliss.
I move that we approve the contract for TV production equipment upgrades and installation to Advanced Lighting and Sound in the amount of $67,911.60.
Thank you, sir. Second?
Mr. Mayor?
Mrs. Scott.
Second.
Mr. York, would you like to make any comments, or does council have any questions for Mr. York?
Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, if you would. Just
Good evening, and thanks for being here.
This has been a burr under our saddle for a good number of years. I would say almost as long as I've been here. Not as long as the mayor, but in terms of the sound quality and the picture quality, can you talk about what sort of an improvement that the average person sitting at home, all things being equal?
Well, it will literally be night and day. You're dealing with equipment that was put in 25 to 30 years ago. You're dealing with exclusively analog equipment now, which when there's repairs to be made, some of it simply just can't be repaired. Some of it can't be replaced, and some of it can't be interfaced with anymore because that sort of technology just doesn't exist anymore. So the video quality itself will be extraordinarily improved because it will go to a digital high-def format. Even though on cable television it will still air in analog until the cable companies decide that they're going to start providing digital access to the governments, to the PEG channels. But for YouTube, for streaming, for everything else, it will be in pure high def. So your original product will be much better quality anyways, even once it's reconverted down to analog for cable television. But for all of your other platforms, it will stay digital and stay in the currently technologically acceptable format.
The internet streaming, is there any way to determine how that will come across differently than we were using it before, or is that pretty much dependent on the viewer's computer? In other words, will that improvement extend to the internet streaming?
Oh, absolutely. And with smart televisions, with Chromecast, with all of these different external devices that people can use, they'll now be able to put the high-def version of the city's channel on their television. Not even, yes, it'll improve their computer viewing also, but with all of these other external devices now and all of this third-party stuff that folks can purchase, they'll be able to watch the city's channel, the council meetings, whatever it is, in high def, even though the cable company isn't providing high def access. They'll be able to watch everything in high def on their TV with the right combination of equipment.
Oh, great, they're going to see us in high def now,
Yes.
Your Honor. Thank you.
Anybody else wish to question the gentleman?
Your
Mr.
Honor.
Bliss.
Just a couple of notes. Some of the things, this was a big priority for ITech. In the first ITech meeting when we created the committee, this was brought up, and it's been a priority of staff as well, and really a priority of anybody watching at home. If you're watching at home right now, you probably can't see how many fingers I'm holding up. It's that low of quality, and so what this enables us to do is not only provide a better quality of presentation to the citizens, but it's going to give us some additional avenues to give our residents access to these meetings. You know, that live stream is going to be available to them right on the city's website, live as we're doing it right now, just like it's live on Comcast. And we're going to be able to take individual votes and share those on YouTube. We're going to take the entire stream and be able to share that on YouTube, so it's able to be opened in apps on smartphones. I mean, the ability for us to improve communication to our residents is really powerful, and this is just a win for everybody, our residents, our staff, and all of us up here, other than perhaps Bob. High def and all, right?
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Let the record reflect when Councilman Bliss raised his finger, it wasn't his middle finger.
Oh, okay.
That's a good
Definitely.
But I had a question. You know, we talk about the lowest qualified bidder, and we had 3 bids which were neck and neck and neck on cost. And you could look at some of the line items and think, oh my gosh, that company lost the bid because they bid too much for a workstation. I mean, can you make an argument that, well, maybe the lowest dollar bid was maybe not the most responsible? I mean, they're all...
No, because, for example, one of the companies probably didn't get the bid because they bid too much for the removal of the equipment. Yeah. It's that sort of thing. The primary piece of equipment, the TriCaster, that has to be sold at manufacturer's suggested retail price. So everybody started at a base of $29,995. So everything else was built upon that. No, these are all qualified bidders as far as the companies themselves to do the work. Advanced Lighting and Sound, I think, has a relationship with the city already, but regardless of that, they did win the bid pretty cleanly.
Your Honor, one of the things we do to make sure we try to get apples to apples, in addition to what Dan said about the installation, is to schedule a mandatory pre-bid walkthrough so all the vendors can see this is the equipment we need to take out and not just rely on a bid spec to try to put a price together.
And there was a modification that was done after the pre-bid meeting that went out to the people that attended the pre-bid meeting. There were some changes made based on the input from the vendors. So they had some say into this before they actually bid on it.
Your Honor, one more thing. I don't want to gloss over the improvement that we're going to see in the character generator or bulletin board that goes out, you know, the 95% of the time. We're currently running on a proprietary system it's not user-friendly or at least user-accessible. And Dan can explain it much better than I can, but we're going to a system that will incorporate PowerPoint, give us more transitions, hopefully be a little more user-friendly and give us a more modern look and feel.
Well, as far as the bulletin board part itself, whatever you can create can be used for that, whether it be Photoshop, whether it be PowerPoint, whether it be any of the programs available to design these sort of things. They will now be able to be injected from remote, so department heads can create their own slides for their own departments, and depending on how the city decides to set up access, either they can place them into the bulletin board themselves, or they can send them to someone here who can simply insert them. In the event of a snow emergency or some other emergency situation, you will now be able to access the entire system from remote and publicize those events also without totally knocking the channel off the air. You'll be able to do crawls that say a snow emergency is in effect, or this road is closed due to a flood, or something to that effect. So that stuff will all be available over the internet, as well as be able to be handled internally as far as the bulletin board is concerned. One of the things you'll be able to also do is you'll be storing content on a server that will play. Right now the city plays from VHS players and DVD players. So you'll be able to store unlimited amounts of content and also show more content on your channel, because you can create 5, 2, 3, 4, 5-minute segments that publicize yearly things or irregular things and play those simply by programming them into the playlist. So it'll give you all kinds of flexibility you don't have right now.
Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
Just a couple of other quick points. For one, I was holding up 3 fingers, so it wasn't one, it was 3 fingers for those at home. And number 2, because this is $67,000, I feel that it does bear repeating that our Citizen Technology Committee, ITAC, reviewed the specs of this. There's been multiple iterations. We actually have better equipment now and at a lower cost than was budgeted. Because it is a large investment, but it's less of an investment than it was going to be, and we've got really excellent equipment coming in that is going to maintain us, not for another 30 years, we probably shouldn't let it get that far, but it's going to maintain us for a while. We're bringing the technology up to modern, current technology right now. We're not a generation behind, and we're doing it at what I would call kind of a budget level. So it's really, really good. So for those at home who hear $67,000, this is a really good investment for what's a considerably lower cost than it should have been for this equipment.
Yeah. Any other questions or comments? Will my wife still have to move the rabbit ears when I'm watching the TV?
Only if she wants to.
Oh, okay. Hey, thank you very much.
Now she can adjust the mouse.
Oh, okay. We have a motion from Councilman Bliss, second from Councilwoman Scott, for the purchasing to the cable television production equipment. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Next item on the agenda is ordinances, and this is ordinance 2108, amendment to the City Crime Commission ordinance, and this is a first reading.
The Crime Commission has requested an amendment to the Crime Commission ordinance to remove the monthly meeting requirement in favor of having meetings as needed, and secondly, to remove the preference for 6 members to have a background in law enforcement or crime prevention. Staff, the City Attorney's Office, and I recommend approval of ordinance 2108 on the first reading.
Thank you. We have a motion on this, please.
Your Honor?
Mr. Corbett.
All right. Yes, I move the council on first reading adopt ordinance 2108, an amendment to the City Crime Commission.
Thank you, sir. Second?
Your Honor?
Mayor? Yes, Mr. Hartwell.
I support.
Okay. Discussion?
Real quick, Your Honor.
Yes.
The Crime Commission wants to go to on-call meetings, but they're going to be on-call at least 6 times a year. They're not going to disappear. They're going to be more dedicated to their purpose and study 6 specific crime issues a year, and they're going to report to council. I don't know if maybe not 6 times a year, but maybe it'll be included in an annual report.
Okay.
So that's all.
Good.
Mr.
Any
Mayor?
other comments?
Yeah, quick question. Those meetings, are they going to be in the day still or in the evening?
Yes, the crime. Your Honor,
Yes, sir.
I can answer that. I think half the council served on the Crime Commission before. I currently am the council rep to the Crime Commission, and we discussed changing the day and time, and the consensus of the Crime Commission was to not change the day and time, so they plan on keeping it third Tuesdays at 2 p.m. It's going to be a day meeting for several reasons, because the current members, it's the best available time for them, but also for staff time. The Crime Commission asked for the police chief or his designee, and we thought, well, let's do it during the day when the police chief is already in the building.
Okay, any other comments? It would appear to me that an evening session would be better, but I don't know. I know you want to have it with the chief available and everything, huh?
Well, Mr. Mayor, quick question. If somebody is working what about the possibility of them calling in the meeting?
What was the question? If
What about the possibility of someone who's working full-time
Yeah.
during the day would be able to at least call in for the hour meeting? Would the Crime Commission consider that?
Crime Commission will consider everything, and what's nice about this ordinance is it gives the Crime Commission flexibility to set its own rules. So that can be discussed going forward.
Good. Any other questions, comments?
Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
Just a quick comment. Actually, all of these committees, if we wanted to, could now be streamed live. So, I mean, even if somebody didn't have a presence, we'd be able to have that meeting streamed live or at least record it to play that content later on the channel.
Your Honor, that's, well,
Go ahead.
how would they be taped?
They'd
They'd
have to
come
be
in here. But they could come in here. I mean, we could do it in here if we wanted to provide that level of access.
Or Skype? We do that.
Yes.
Any other discussion, questions? If not, we have a motion by Councilman Corbett, a second by Mayor Pro Tem Hartwell for the amendment to the City Crime Commission ordinance and under the first reading. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Next item on the agenda is approval of the minutes, and first the one be for the special council meeting of March 25th. I need a motion on that, please.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Clark.
I'd make a motion that the minutes for the special council meeting, March 23rd, be adopted as printed.
Thank you, sir. Second?
Your Honor?
Mr. Corbett.
Support, Your Honor.
Discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? And how about a motion for the regular council meeting of March 23rd, 2015, please?
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Clark?
I'd make a motion that the minutes of the regular council meeting of March 23rd be adopted as printed.
Thank you, sir. Second?
Your Honor?
Mr. Corbett?
I'd be honored to second that motion, sir.
Okay. All in favor, aye?
Your Honor, discussion?
Yes, please.
I saw an edit that it was on my desk when I sat down to the council chambers today.
Uh-huh.
Was that included? There was an edit that on page 7 of the minutes.
Yeah, that
added
was
the
just
word-
closing, this was closing comments, wasn't it? For information only, I don't know. Ben?
I don't know if it matters, but it looks like there's an edit for the minutes.
Yes, Your Honor. This is under meeting open to the public, and the clarification was that Gloria Moore was here representing the Friends of the Madison Heights area seniors.
If that's not already been included, I'd like the minutes to reflect that.
Okay.
Well, the second would be honored to reflect that if the primary would.
Okay. You're a pushover.
I know. But you better check with the maker of the motion, though.
Yeah. Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Mayor, the maker of the motion would have to agree to the amendment.
Okay.
You
Mr.
agree,
Clark,
don't
do you
you,
agree
Rich?
to the amendment? Bob?
Support
Okay.
agrees. So the motion on the floor now is to approve the minutes as amended for the regular meeting of March 23rd, 2015.
Good. Any other questions, comments? All in favor then, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? We'll move into appointments, and we have openings on the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority, Downtown Development Authority, Charter Amendment and Ordinance Revision Committee, Community Development Block Grant Review Committee, the Crime Commission, Construction Board of Appeals, Environmental Citizens Committee, the Historical Commission, the Library Advisory Board, and a second here. Parks and Recreation, we do have 3 applicants out of 4, and the first is Jerry Zerugian, and this is a term that's going to expire for 15. He's willing to serve again. Brian Gettle and Robert Gettings, the same. They're all 3 are willing to serve, so could we have a motion for this?
Your Honor?
Mr. Corbett?
I move to reappoint Mr.
Zerugian.
Thank you. Zerugian, Mr. Gettle, and Mr. Gettings to terms which coincidentally all will end in 4/15/17, sir.
Thank you, sir. Second?
Your Honor?
Mr. Bliss?
Support.
Thank you. Discussion?
Just a real quick question to the attorney. It doesn't say it. Is this mayor's appointment or?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know why I had it in
Has
my
it
head.
been? Just a minute.
It just reflects how the motion reads.
Yes, I'm listing them as mayor's appointments in the roster.
Good.
Then, then I would modify the motion only that I am moving to confirm the mayor's.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Bliss?
I amend as well.
Discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Is there anybody on council that has any recommendations for any of the boards and commissions?
Your
Sir?
Honor, I remember seeing an application that hit my desk for the Crime Commission, but I don't have it in front of me. Her name was Jennifer Hamill.
Okay.
Does council recall seeing that? This might have been a week or two ago.
Yeah, I don't remember, but yeah.
I contacted the applicant, and she was still interested. I don't know if anything has changed, but the Crime Commission, I think, is a mayor's appointment.
Yeah.
Your Honor,
Yes.
I do have a Jennifer Hamill who submitted on March 23rd for Crime Commission.
Okay, and that is a mayor's appointment, you said? Crime Commission? Huh?
Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
But my question to the clerk, has this individual been appropriately vetted through the,
Yes, if it appears in your information.
did it? Okay, I didn't
this is
see
from the
it, so,
information.
okay, that's all.
Okay, I'm willing to appoint her if I can have support.
Your Honor, I move to bring the mayor's appointment of Jennifer Hamill for council's approval to the Crime Commission. I'm not sure which slot is available, but for the next available slot with the longest term.
Thank you, sir. Second?
Your Honor.
Mr. Mayor?
There are two terms, 9/12/15 and 9/12/16 for Crime Commission.
9/16?
Yes, please.
Yeah. okay.
2016.
Agreeable?
Yes.
Councilman Scott? Okay.
Support
Any other?
agrees.
Yeah. Any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Are there any other applicants that we know of?
Mr. Mayor?
Mr. Sheriff?
Just for council's information, in the report prepared by Nick Gruchowski from my office relating to the Crime Commission Ordinance Amendment, there were two alternative members, Martha Kehoe and Rick Lewis, who are regular attendees. There was some thought of, at some point, the mayor and council would consider changing their status on the Crime Commission to regular members rather than alternates, but I don't know if that leaves just one vacant spot on the regular roster.
Your Honor,
Yes, sir.
I am showing only two vacancies, the 9/12/15 and the 9/12/16.
Okay.
Council does not have to deal with this issue, Your Honor, tonight, but they can
Okay,
deal with
yeah.
it.
We can wait.
You just voted on Jennifer.
So now
Okay.
we might have another vacancy coming up.
All set?
All set.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go into closing comments then with Councilman Corbett, sir, if you will.
A couple of items this evening, Your Honor. First of all, a reminder that council maintains office hours at the library on Fridays from 1 to 2. If you've got an interest in talking about an issue involving the community, a complaint, well, we're not big on the complaints, but we'll take a complaint. It's certainly anything else. We're there. Usually it's myself and or a fill-in. So we're there Fridays at 1 o'clock. I was approached online, and for once it wasn't somebody trying to sell me or help me improve my love life. It actually was real business related to the city. And there was some concern, apparently, all the publicity that's been generated recently regarding transactions on Craigslist that have gone south and so on. And they drew my attention to an article recently in the Oakland Press that Troy was making their the parking lot near their police station available for people to complete transactions if they were worried about meeting people that they hadn't, just knew from a phone call or whatever. And I know that often that's done couples that are having arguments over custody and so on. A lot of times they will exchange the children at the police parking lot. So I spoke with Ben earlier, and the police department doesn't have any problem with that. You're welcome, certainly, rather than just meeting somebody in some dangerous place. You're welcome to come over by the police station in the front there, the main parking lot. If there's any question, you could always go into the lobby, although I suppose that some common sense would have to be involved. The lobby is not for, conducting you don't open up a stand there. But I mean, if it's to exchange some documents or so on, and you're afraid, I can understand in this day and age that, you hear about odd things. I know there was a Hazel Park gentleman, and I believe Madison Heights fellow who were killed or injured meeting people for car transactions that weren't what they were supposed to be. So if you're going to do that, then, and it's, I'm sure every day millions of people have perfectly good transactions on the internet, but, you have to use some sense about it. Conduct these transactions in a public place, and if you're concerned, come on over by the police department. They've got a large lit lot there and out in front, and you're welcome to transact whatever you have to there. It's a public area. Just one comment, though, on the high definition, though. We all, I understand, Your Honor, we all don't have the boyish charm and good looks of Mr. Clark down there, so I don't know that the HD is going to do all of us that much good, but that's all I got this evening, sir. Thank you.
Councilman Bliss, sir?
Yes, Your Honor. First, I'd like to actually concur with Councilman Corbett. I think the safe zone for Craigslist deals is a great idea. I believe Troy adopted a resolution and then put that out in the press. I wouldn't mind us doing the same, to have some recommended hours that we would like to see those transactions take place, particularly used car sales. Those are things that have a real heightened sense of security, that you sometimes have thousands of dollars in cash in a transaction or check. They're really ripe for issues and robberies. So I'd like to see us duplicate Troy's efforts and perhaps publish some identified times, get that up on Facebook and on the city website to really direct people to what's perhaps a safer method as opposed to bringing somebody into your home. I'd also like to thank our friends at Lamb Fair. Gosh, there's a lot of amazing kids at our schools, and it's the one thing that I know is it never changes. Actually, Mr. McKenzie was a coach of mine back in the day, and it's really interesting to see that continued push from the school, but even from its students, to really make changes and be a part of the community. And I hope that those kids who really spearheaded that campaign, I hope that they'll sign up for our mock council internship this fall. It's going to be a great experience for them to get some behind-the-scenes look at the city and really see how they might be able to impact the city 10, 15 years from now. And then a couple of points that I'd like to bring up to staff, just asking them to look into things. There was a report by a publication online called NerdWallet that was ranking cities in Michigan in relation to how good they are for young families to live in. And unfortunately, we placed outside the top 100 at number 108. And some of the things that they based it off of were home affordability, income growth, education quality, and percentage of families in the city with a child under the age of 18. There's not a lot that I'm sure we can do in some of these areas, but I'd just like staff to maybe create some sort of a cross-functional project team to suggest some ideas to council if there's anything that we can do to increase, I guess, the desire for young families to move here, and hopefully rank higher in that report the next time they do it next year. And then the other thing is on officer cameras. There's a huge push and a lot of discussion in Lansing. Lansing and Detroit are currently testing them. Grand Rapids passed their test, and just bought 200 cameras to roll out to their police force. We'd be a considerably smaller amount of cameras, so it's something that I'd request that staff formally look into. There's a lot of positives to it, and I understand that there are negatives, and I'd like to have the dialogue, or at least have the information available. Should other communities continue to adopt it, I don't want us to be behind the 8 ball. That's it, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Hartwell.
Mr. Mayor, you know what's worse than someone who complains and doesn't do anything about it? You know what's worse than that? Someone who complains and has no idea what they're talking about. And I say that because the city's budget workshop is not this weekend, but next weekend. And so throughout the year, I get a lot of complaints. Why are you spending money on that? Why are you spending money on that? And it's always a surprise to people that we have planned most of our expenditures for a 5-year capital improvement plan, for example. Most of our expenditures are so written in stone, it doesn't come as a surprise when it comes to a random council meeting. So those in the public who want to be more involved and more knowledgeable, I just want to invite everyone to our budget council meeting Saturday, April 25th at 8:30 a.m. right here in council chambers.
Good.
And that's all.
Thank
I'll
you.
be here.
Okay. Mr. Sherman, sir.
Nothing this evening, Mr. Mayor. Thank
Mr.
you.
Myers? No, nothing, Your Honor.
Ms. Brams?
Yes, just give me 1 second. Sorry, just typing. Find my notes. May 5th is the state special election. The polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Absentee ballot applications are available in the clerk's office. Just call and we can send you an application by mail. The number is 248-583-0826. The last day for the clerk's office to mail an absentee ballot is 2 p.m. Saturday, May 2nd. And voters in Precinct 5, I just want you to be aware that your precinct location is now back to Madison Elementary School from the Madison High School where we temporarily moved it last year. If you have any questions about your precinct location, whether you're registered to vote, you can find all that information out on our website under the Clerk's tab. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Clark?
Nothing, Mr. Mayor.
Councilwoman Scott? Nothing tonight on this. Oh,
I'm going to start timing everybody, because I don't talk longer than anybody else.
No,
you
you
may
don't.
think I do. Okay, I wanted to thank the staff and the whole Lanphier district for the wonderful event that they held on Wednesday, April 1st. The children were all trained this past year in leadership and how to be learning and the Stephen Covey's 7 habits of what they learn in school. And we were so impressed. Several of the council people went there for the program, and we were so impressed with the children. I mean, if we could start out every day with those children greeting us with those beautiful smiles and the personalities that came across so easily, I think it would be a great world and a great way to start out every day. But I want to thank all the people at Hiller Elementary School for all the work that they did on that presentation. We're all very pleased that we went there. Also, something that's near and dear to me, the Lanphier High School Drama Club is going to be presenting Willy Wonka the musical, and that will be taking place April 23rd, 24th, 25th at 7 o'clock. And there was so much demand that they decided to hold a matinee on April 26th at 2 o'clock. It's going to be especially really meaningful to a lot of people in Madison Heights because this year they're having 75 young elementary children going to be playing the Oompa Loompas. And they've been working hard all since January. First of all, they got their role and their parents bring them back and forth several times during the week. So they've been practicing very well, and I know it's a smash hit. I don't even know if there's tickets available anymore, but I think if you call Lanphier, you can find out. Also, if you're on the website, I wanted to make sure that a lot of people have been asking me for the 60th anniversary. There are shirts available that you can order, and there's a regular form that you can fill out, and so be the first one on your block to get the 60th anniversary shirt for Madison Heights, because you'll be proud to wear it, I know. And I also wanted to again mention, you can't mention it too many times, the newly renovated animal shelter open house will be held on Saturday, June 13th, from 12 to 3 o'clock. And they will be having hot dogs, and I don't think they were the live kind.
Okay.
But it's a great way to honor them. And we do have a trivia question for tonight. The trivia question that we're going to ask for tonight and for this week to be posted is, what are the two former stores that occupied where Kmart's is now on 12 Mile and John R. Now, obviously, Kmart's has been closed, but there were two major stores that were there. And the possible answers are the A, the Village Inn and Kresge's, or is it B, John R. Lumber and Frank's Nursery, or is it C, Sanders and Baskin Robbins, or is it D, Hudson's Budget Store and E.J. Corvettes? And I will tell you that if you buy this book, you'll find the answer on page 65. So, and Ben, what were the two questions that we had? Was that the civic buildings that began operation?
The first one was the cover-up.
Oh, yes.
And the second one was the civic building.
Okay, let's do the cover-up first. So we will give you the answers. The cover-up, what cover-up began in January of 1962 and ended on January 11th of 1973? And the correct answer is the covering of the Red Run drain. That was the first part A.
Yeah.
Okay, so we did that. We cover up a lot of things, but that was one of the best things they did. Because I remember back then we won major awards in best use of recreational land over an existing drain. So that was a real award winner for us. And the second question that had, what two civic buildings were completed and began operation in 1964? And the correct answer is B, the City Hall and the library. And you can check out the cornerstones because they do have those years on them. And I think that they're still standing, they're doing well, they've been modernized and updated, so we appreciate everything that those buildings do for our community.
How's the historical museum coming?
It's coming great, and I did want to thank you for reminding me. We had a very wonderful event there. It was nobody came, but I just wanted to say that we hosted the great-great-granddaughter of the Kendall family for the first time in Madison Heights. She grew up in Pontiac, but the whole Kendall family, all of her ancestors, grew up in Madison Heights. Her three great-great-grandfathers were the ones that started the farms on north and south of Lincoln between John R. and DeQuinder. They were the Kendall Farms. They had 160 acres of land, and those were her great-great-grandfathers. So I wanted to thank her for her visiting for the very first time the Heritage Rooms and seeing what the Kendall School is going to look like. It has their family name on it. We were really proud of that. And she thought it was wonderful, too.
Thank you. Councilman Soltis.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. After official business done here at the council meetings, I like to take this time to be transparent into my opinions and convictions on a few issues. First of all, I'm glad that big business stepped up to raise the awareness of the anti-gay legislation recently. Quite the unlikely ally, but nonetheless, I think they deserve recognition to go against the wave of discrimination fervor and instead encourage civil and human rights for all consumers. I think this is a good time or for a springboard for local ordinances that protect LGBT rights to be resurrected for discussion. Secondly, I agree with President Obama to condemn the use of back in the dark ages gay adjustment therapy, is what they call it, or conversion therapy, that promises to cure gay and transgender people. I think this type of therapy or mindset is an absolute form of torture and should be banned immediately on all local levels of government. And lastly, a controversial issue. I've always supported public safety and always will. I think our officers here in Madison Heights do a superior job. But I think the murder of the African-American Walter Scott by the South Carolina officer was such a blatant disregard of the law and betrays all foundations of basic human rights. And to me, unmistakably shines the light on the systemic racism that still exists. I just hope and trust that the justice is carried out in the name of Walter Scott tragedy. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Happy note. Thanks. is I received a certificate of appreciation from the Wyland Foundation, and it's in recognition and appreciation for leadership in conservation and my support for the 215 Wyland National Mayor's Challenge for Water Conservation. So he does this every year. It's a good thing to sign up for. With that, any other comments? Anybody in the audience? If not, then let's adjourn our meeting.